Assalamu alaikum. This is Jawaria Batool. Today I am going to talk about exoticism in post-colonial studies. The word exotic comes from the Greek word exotikos, means foreign or outside. The term exoticism was already being used in 19th century French literature and criticism. But Victor Sigalin is important because he developed and theorized exoticism in essay on exoticism. In post colonial studies, the idea of exoticism is most strongly connected with Edward Said, especially through his concept of Orientalism in the book Orientalism, which published in 1978. He explained how colonial powers represented Eastern societies as exotic, mysterious, backward, and inferior in order to justify domination. Edward brought the issue of exotic representation into post-colonial theory through Orientalism, showing how the East was exoticized by colonial discourse. Exoticism is a concept in post-colonial studies that refers to the representation of non-Western cultures as strange, fascinating, mysterious, and fundamentally different from the West. It does not present these cultures realistically, instead, it constructs an image of otherness. According to Edward Said, in Orientalism, the West does not simply describe the East, it creates and controls its images. Exoticism becomes a tool through which the East is portrayed as irrational, while West is portrayed as rational. East is portrayed as backward, while West is portrayed as progress, and East is portrayed as emotional, while West is portrayed as logical. So, exoticism, we can say that is ideological and political. If we look at the characteristics of exoticism characteristics of exoticism are colonized lands are shown as magical, timeless, and mysterious. Reality is ignored. People are reduced to fixed identities, for example, tribal, uncivilized, and individual identity is erased. Complex traditions are reduced to symbols like rituals, costumes, jungles. Culture becomes a spectacle, not a lived experience. Exoticism creates binary opposition like West is civilized, rational, and modern, and East is primitive, emotional, backward. Cultures are treated like objects to be observed, enjoyed, or controlled. People lost their voice and agency. So, what is the function of exoticism? Exoticism creates the idea that colonized people are incapable of self rule, so Western control seems necessary. Exoticism makes Western audience feel advanced, educated, and civilized. It allows the West to dominate not just land, but also knowledge, culture, and identity. Real issues like exploitation, resistance, and diversity are hidden behind dramatic images. Exoticism also makes foreign culture seem attractive and exciting, which encourages tourism, fuels cultural consumption, but still keeps power unequal. If we look at a literary example of exoticism, Heart of Darkness is a classical example of exoticism. In Darkness, Joseph Conrad portrayed Africa as dark, wild, and unknown. The environment is shown as threatening and mysterious. Africans are silent, primitive, and lacking individuality. The story focuses more on European experience than African reality. Post-colonial critics argue that the novel dehumanizes Africans, it reinforces colonial stereotypes, it presents Africa as background for European drama. Edward said, they are not like us. Spivak said that the West is the spectator, the East is the spectacle. Now, if we look at modern relevance of exoticism, exoticism is not limited to colonial history. It is still active today in many modern systems like media, tourism, fashion, and global culture. It continues to shape how people from different cultures are seen and treated. Movie, TV shows, and web series. Non-Western cultures are often showed as mysterious, dangerous, or magical. Hollywood films may present the Middle East or Africa as place of violence or mystery, rather than showing their real diversity and modern life. News and global narratives News and global narratives sometimes focuses only on conflict, poverty, or crisis in certain regions, ignores progress, culture, and everyday life.